I'm a psychic! Hello, sports card collectors and investors. No, actually I'm not a psychic, but I'm excited to make this video. I was actually just thinking about this. Sometimes I just daydream about things and then I have to run down and I have to make a video out of it. So forgive me, but there's going to be a whole lot of stuff like this moving forward. I kind of like the impromptu, creative stuff. So I just decided to go ahead and get a video going quickly. Oh, first off too, new lighting on the way. I got one of those like sweet DJ lights that lights up blue or orange or whatever that I'm going to be putting in the background. There's going to be some different things going on. Ordered a new microphone, so this thing's not going to be hanging off me anymore. Guys, it's getting super professional around here, okay? Really, really profesh. If you are new here and if you have not subscribed, we have over 200 and no, this is video number 230, I believe, on the channel. Most of it sports card investing, collectibles investing, personal finance, all tied together. I'm going to make a video in the next couple days about Tesla stock, another one. So you see how it's just kind of different things, but it is mostly around sports cards because I'm deep into sports cards. So speaking of sports cards, let's talk about the future of sports card pricing, sports card prices, the future of sports card prices. So here's kind of my overall thought on this, and I put a lot of thought into it. I mean, I think back to, my dad was born in '55, so when he had comic books and when he had sports cards when he was a kid, they were traded and they were but they were put in bike spokes and they weren't taken care of, and then it kind of graduated on. When I was a kid in the late 80s and in the early 90s, then we've graduated on to Toploaders, and then you have binders so that you're putting cards in, you're taking a little bit more care of them. Now, a lot of the reason why I believe that, like, my dad is starting to come around on this stuff, and my mom and that kind of generation, is because a lot of these guys, and I had my friends, I always bring up 1989 score football cards as an example. That was a set that everybody wanted, including I had a buddy of mine. His dad was stockpiling 89 score football boxes in his closet, along with, Donruss baseball and all the other sets. But they were mass produced to the point where they ended up not being worth very much. 89 score football, I believe that was only a hobby product. That was not a retail product because you could not get it at the grocery store or the gas station like all the other different brands. But even the 89 score set is they're high print runs in comparison to what we have today. Now, I understand the argument against now you've got a zillion parallels and 50 different rookie cards. I get it. But in essence, that generation doesn't really believe in baseball cards or sports cards as far as values go because of that experience that they had 25, 30 years ago, along with Pogs and Beanie Babies and everything else. And Pokemon cards. Oh, by the way, Pokemon cards are worth money now too, So, I think that, just from a pop culture standpoint, things have obviously changed. And I think that, when you look at this generation, whether it be my generation or, my kids and that coming generation, it's just going to be, it's a different type of world. If you look at it now, it's always kind of like, how can we get more, young people into the hobby? Because this is really now, it's an adult sport now. Collecting sports cards has become for adults. It's not for young kids. When Prism boxes are $1,000 each, kids aren't buying them unless they're, the ultra wealthy kids, Mark Wahlberg's kids, I guess, have them. But in essence, you're not going to have the average Joe that's going to be buying boxes. So it's changed. It's changed dramatically. So, and right now, over the last 12 to 15 months, we're really hitting the height of demand that we've probably ever had. Now, there were more collectors / investors back when it was more mainstream. There was just more collectors. Every kid collected cards when I was a kid. Nowadays, that's not the case. And so demand is at an all-time high in the market as far as money pouring into it. And, the thing that is different now is it's definitely, you have graded cards, you have, they're starting to do fractional shares. I don't remember them doing anything like that 30 years ago. It's definitely a lot more sophisticated than it is now. And I'm kind of wondering if all of collectibles is kind of going in that direction. You've heard about different things with with art and with classic cars, and there's Rally Road, there's Collectible app. There's different kind of fractional investors coming into the marketplace. And I think that what's going to happen though is I do think that we're seeing a spike in prices. We've seen a pullback in the last month. I do think though that there will be an inflection point to where prices do drop. I don't know if they'll drop down to where they used to be, but I think we'll have kind of a new kind of floor is what I believe. Of course, I'm purely speculating. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a joke about like the almanac from Back to the Future. I don't have any of that stuff. Pure speculation in the video, but it's fun to talk about. I'd like to get your feedback on it too, kind of your thoughts. I do think that there's going to be kind of a new floor that happens, but what I really believe is going to happen down the road is there's going to be another spike in about 20 years. So I think that this thing is going to favor the long-term investor, kind of like how what happens with everything, with the stock market, with real estate, with just about everything. I don't know, maybe I don't know enough about cryptocurrency but that's somewhat of a new thing, blockchain. Maybe in 20 years, all the Bitcoin people and all the cryptocurrency people are going to be laughing at everyone that's kind of doubted it and whatever. I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. I've never gotten into it or really researched it heavily, but I do think there's going to be another cycle of sports cards. I think that there'll be a cycle here. And I do think there will be, I think that values will, again, there'll be a new floor for values. But do I think that prison boxes are going to be $1,000 forever? I don't think so. I don't think that it's going to maintain in that way. I think that, it pushes Panini and Topps to print more, different sets. We're seeing that all the time. On another channel, another content creator, Ziggy No, he does his daily sports update, and he was talking about a new Donruss basketball set, which is one that we had heard about in an interview on Sportscards Live, another YouTube content creator, a couple months back, and it was a product manager at Panini that was talking about another fancy basketball set that's going to include Zion, and now we see that, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was on Ziggy pulled it up on the Panini site that they're selling, and it's like $500 for a box of that, and it's like everything's $1,000, so at some point it's going to catch to where the demand just doesn't meet that supply, and you can't really blame Panini or Topps. They're trying to make as much profit as they can. They're in business to make money, and so that's what it is, and until people stop buying it, and until it just doesn't get sold, then the prices will come down. But right now, if people buy it, then they're buying it, and that's really just what it is. So I do think that pricing will come down. I think it's going to happen in the next, I'm going to speculate that over the next 12 to 18 months, there will be somewhat of a sharp comeback to where it comes back down. I think this will be a similar thing happened with rare coins back in the early 2000s when the stock market was struggling. People moved money out of the stock market because they were a little nervous about it. They moved it into the rare coin market. You saw institutional investors came in. You saw a sharp increase in pricing and a fairly sharp decrease coming back down after a couple of years. So we just don't know if it's going to be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, however long this kind of goes for. But obviously, prices aren't just going to go up forever. Hobby boxes are not going to go up to $2,000, then $5,000, then $10,000 for a box of Prism. It's just not going to happen like that. I just don't think that it will. I do think that we're going to face kind of an inflection point. So what do you guys think about this? This is an interesting topic. It's something that I hear all the time, and I like the conversation. And everyone's got, it's no different when you're talking about the real estate market. Oh, housing is so expensive. When's the crash coming? Stock market's at all-time highs. Can it sustain? And now we're kind of having this mini, sort of, deal with sports cards too. And it's been nice as far as prices going up, but of course, those ancillary type issues are product is extremely expensive and nobody wants to buy it or really can afford it. And that's just the way that it goes. So it's that supply-demand game that we're always talking about. Tell me what you think. I want to know. And I guess on a final thought, I think that just with sports just growing in popularity, I don't see that changing. Sports cards and the nostalgia of all of it, I think that it's going to, like I said, I think there's going to be another cycle in about 15, 20 years. I think there's going to be kids that couldn't afford the Prism today that in 20 years are going to go, oh, wow, I remember those Prism cards, just the same way I'm buying 89 score football. It's going to be no different. I think there'll be another cycle, and it's just going to be who stays in it, the longest, who's interested in kind of those long-term holds. And the people that have those long-term holds, I believe, are the ones that are going to make out the best. But anyway, let me know. Is that crazy? Do you think that vintage will just kind of be a forgotten thing? We talk about vintage football, baseball, basketball cards, and it's like, well, they're not playing, so they're forgotten. Does anyone care about Bob Cousy in 20 years? Does anyone care about John Havlicek or Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a guy that I don't think anyone's going to forget about. I'm trying to use some other examples. Kevin McHale. Who are these guys that Bernard King? Are those cards going to grow in value over time, or are those going to be just forgotten superstars in the lump of superstars that accumulates over the next 15, 20, 25 years? I want to hear your thoughts on it because it's of interest to me, and I think that it's just a great topic, and it's fun. Anyway, guys, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. We've got almost 3,000 subscribers. We're at like 25 to 30 away. I think we're getting really close. Also, if you want to support the channel, we have Amazon affiliate links in the description. Any qualifying purchases that are bought through those links, we do get a small commission as an Amazon affiliate. So again, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Appreciate it, and we will talk to you again soon.